Greetings, comrades from CGT France. My name is Sean Sweeney. I'm the coordinator of Trade Unions for Energy Democracy. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to say a few words at your meeting today. I want to start by, first of all, congratulating CGT on hosting the Forum on Ecological Transformation in June this year. Trade Unions for Energy Democracy, known as TUED, was very pleased to have the opportunity to co-convene that event along with other partners. And it was also very gratifying to be at the offices of FNME in Paris in early October to develop the trade union program for a public low carbon energy future. I'll return to that in a moment. And also to work alongside CGT at COP26 in Glasgow, whether physically or virtually. We had many successful meetings and I think made a lot of progress in terms of the work we're doing together. Just a few words about TUED to get us started. It was established 9 years ago in New York, and it's grown to 89 unions from 26 countries. Many of those unions are from the global south, and many of them are in the energy sector. Although the goal of the project is, or rather the point of departure for the project was we saw the need for an independent approach, an independent trade union and working class approach to energy transition and climate protection. One that was independent of both the large environmental organizations, many of whom are our social allies, but have a somewhat different analysis, and also independent of large energy interests, especially those that are working for profit for their companies. We were concerned also that the green growth model that was being developed by the World Bank and prior to that, the United Nations Environment Programme put forward a vision of energy transition that was supposedly friendly to the climate and would advance the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, but they saw it as inseparable from privatization, liberalization, and marketization of public systems. We were concerned that a number of unions had been misled by this approach, which was not only unjust from a worker's perspective, but also ecologically ineffective in that it was incapable of addressing the increases in emissions and energy use. And it was also financially harmful for governments because large amounts of public money was being transferred to private interests in the form of subsidies and incentives. This is the policy that continues to this day, which has proven to be quite disastrous in that emissions continue to rise, and the main policies put forward by the neoliberal institutions, such as carbon emissions tradings, has also failed. So TUED brought together unions from all sectors, operating on the understanding that all unions had an interest in the future of the energy system, although of course, energy unions had a particularly important role to play given that it's their sector and they have knowledge and experience and skills to bring to the energy transition. Now, over the last 8 years, we've developed a body of research which we think has stood the test of time. It points to what we call an energy expansion, not an energy transition, whereas all forms of energy are expanding in terms of their use globally, and that the growth of renewable energy, for example, while not dealing effectively with some technical challenges, is also not seriously displacing fossil fuels or other forms of energy. Now, we'll talk about how we work as a project before moving into some of the more recent work we've done. We do not take positions as a network. We convene meetings to discuss and raise the level of debate across the trade union movement on energy transition questions. And we also have an approach where unions have to make a formal decision to participate in TUED, and if they can, support us financially. At the moment, we are supported by the City University of New York, the School of Labor and Urban Studies, by the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation, but most of our support comes from unions that participate in the project. Without union support, we could not continue. Now, in recent times, we've worked with unions on the defense of public energy, not just defending public energy in terms of jobs and stability, but we defend public energy in the language of climate protection. In other words, we see public energy systems as crucial to the decarbonization effort because it allows for planning, and it allows for careful deliberation of options, and it can look objectively at all the technologies and pathways that are being proposed. Privatization and marketization of energy leans more towards the consumption of energy